Yeah.
Push the button.
Oh, I pushed the button. Look at that. We're live. It's episode 162. That's like well
Dude,
over 2 years.
so many
That's over 3
episodes.
years, isn't it? It's
They
a
still let us-
lot of years of episodes.
They still let us on the air. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it shows that the YouTube types are sleeping on the job, you know. They let us stick around this long.
We've been
I'd like
behaving.
to say hello to Honcho Fett out there with a neat variation on our standard greeting of 3 yos. I'd try to read it and pronounce it. I'd probably get some of the voice inflection wrong on that, so I'm not sure. So
Right.
the typical, as we do sometimes, our typical agenda, we're tossing it right out the window from the get-go. We're going to start out and say we're not going to talk about recently published reviews. We may talk about some upcoming reviews.
We'll have a healthy really quick chat.
Healthy. I was going to say healthy dose. I said a healthy deuce. We'll probably have that too, but a healthy dose of TJ's happy hour, the most highly anticipated portion of the program. And we have a special guest with. All right, which way do I point? That way, down here.
Yep.
Say hi to Ron, who is here from Ryker, USA, to talk about the cool stuff they have going on. So Honcho Fett said hi. The Gun Snob called us weirdos.
Whoa.
Thanks a lot, Gun Snob. We appreciate that.
Tough love from Clover Jack. What's up with that?
Says, I love Jeff, but TJ not so much. Okay, I'll allow it. That works. Okay.
I won't allow it. How about that? Where's Gizzard? Nuke him. No.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Gizzard Gary yet on the program. So hi, I'm Jeff. I'll be your tour guide this evening. I'll be attempting to facilitate the discussion and throw in some missives here and there just for fun. Yeah. Oh, your light's kind of coming and going there, TJ.
Is it?
Yeah. You were bright.
We got some storms coming, so.
Ah, okay.
If I vanish, you know what happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my light right. I feel like I'm in the dark. I have studio lights all over the place. I think my on-air light's washing everything out for me. But anyhow, I'm Jeff. That's TJ. Down here, we have Komar with the unbranded AR shirt. That's a neat one. That's a brand I hadn't heard much about in a while.
Yeah.
You do some work with them, Komar?
Yeah, I use a bunch of their stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did some videos with Rocky a couple years ago when she was early in launching that brand. And we need to get together. Do you ever go to their facility out in the western side of North Carolina?
I've not been there, no.
No, we ought to get together and do that sometime. Go visit, shoot some video.
I'll do it.
All right. And now, Ron, would you like to introduce yourself and then your brand, and we can figure out where we want to go from there?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Ron Holmes. I'm the inventor of the Ryker grip and one of the owners of Ryker USA. I retired from Marine Special Operations in 2010. Was a government service guy for about 5 years after that. I've been running my own firearms instruction for 15 years. I'm a retired stay-at-home dad. And on top of everything else we got going on, I'm running 2 pilot summer camps for kids 6 to 12 years old, 10 kids. It's called Life Skills. And my theory is I'm going to correct the course. I'm going to fix our future through training these kids with life skill habits and setting them up for success as they go forward in life.
Do you have an upper age limit?
Not yet. So we're going to run these first 2 pilots, and
I'm 50, so I'm wondering if that's pushing it.
But my first 2 classes are pretty much being filled by my family and friends network. And a couple of our friends have been like, "Hey, when you finish with my kids, I'm sending my husband through because he needs some help."
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm like, all right, you had that discussion with him, but So I'm in Eastern North Carolina, and I invented the Ryker grip for pain management. We've talked about that in the past, but prior to retiring, I had multiple surgeries, leaving me with rubber bands that hold my shoulders in, screws and fishing line in each elbow, and an inch of height loss. And what I have found is that traditional methods of shooting shoulder in the rifle, it was painful on my support arm, numbness, and just painful tingling in my hand. I had a me problem, and I came up with a solution for me wasn't really thinking beyond that. And here we are 5.5 years down the road. We had one product 5 years ago, and now we've got 16.
Wow. That's a lot. Cause I remember it must've been right after you launched at the Iraq Veteran Range Day. It must have been right after you launched.
That was
you were there with that first grip.
That was 3 weeks. That was our first event we ever did. We were 3 weeks live on the market at Iraqi Range Day.
And it'll tell you something, that I've been to enough range events like that to be able to remember that specifically means that you made an impression, because usually I can look back at an event like that and a lot of years, there's no real big takeaways, not like, yeah, I remember the experience, but there's nothing that really stands out. I absolutely remember you guys being there with that crazy weird thing bolted on the side of the shotgun, and
yeah,
like, what is this? And I'm telling you, I was very highly skeptical until I picked it up, and it took a couple rounds to kind of get the motion and get the feel, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I see where he's going with this. And I'm excited to hear. I know something we talked about then. Every time we've seen each other over the past several years, I've been like, has it happened yet? And you pulled me aside at SHOT Show and were like, dude, you got to check this out. So I don't want to jump the gun and get to that. I will tell people we got some cool stuff to talk about later that has been very anticipated by me and hopefully other people in the market. So yeah. I get too excited. I start just taking off. So you'll have to slow me down and redirect me. So 16 products. We know about the original grip, and we talked about your slings before. Why don't you fill in some blanks on the product line for us?
So we have the Ryker grip, and it comes with the traditional Picatinny mounting bracket. And the next thing that we had launched was the direct M-Lock mount as an accessory. And then we started getting some feedback, and we made the long post M-Lock mount for guys with bigger hands, just to give you a little bit more space in that profile off the side of the rifle. And that's actually had a lot of really good feedback. We've got the original version of our sling in 3 colors, and then we gave our sling to the tier 1 guys, and they gave us back some priceless feedback. And they were like, your sling the retention's great. It's too heavy, it's too bulky, and there's too much plastic on it. And they're like, we can't put an order in. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? You just redesigned my sling. So we now offer our sling. Right now it's in 3 colors, but we're going to be doing some more. We're actually going to be doing a limited run M81 version of our new sling. And what we did is we used different materials. It's lighter, it's thinner, and all of the tri-glides and everything are all American made steel. And we have our cable management system, which you can see right up there with the Ryker control. And these allow you to route your cables through the backside there and clip it right onto the top of your pick rail. And it gives you a lot better bump protection than you've ever had with like tape, zip ties, and rubber bands. These individually come in a 3-pack, and they've got our logo right on top. And then you can see the backside where you can just route it, and then you can run the cables through these like wings on the side, and they give you a really nice, hardened layer of protection, from bump and things that'll snag on the cords for your devices. The Ryker control comes in a single lead light and single lead laser option. And we've done a couple of the things, and I think this is what you were getting at, is our ultimate goal from the beginning was to put the controls for your devices into the grip. And we did. Technology and manufacturing has changed, and it's what's allowed us to speed up and get to this point now. A couple of things that we did is a lot of the feedback we got, put the controls in and add texture. So we added this really nice, clean, aggressive stipple on the finger pads and on the back strap. The urethane booty on the top has the Ryker logo on it, and that's pretty much where you depress your thumb down to activate the device. The light option, the single lead light option, is momentary only. And it works off the Surefire plug-in. The single lead laser option works off the crane type connector, and that one is momentary or double press for constant on. We have found that there are other lights out there like the Insight, and almost all the Hollow Sun light laser combinations run off the crane type connector. So that's an added benefit. That's something that honestly we really just found out about. We made the decision to go with these two designs based off of what DoD's using. The other feature that we added to the Ryker control is, you can see right here, we put these cable management built in to the grip on both sides. So you got on the top, and you can run it down the back. You could put it in here, but it's also ambidextrous. So you have it on both sides. There's 3 on each side. Just another way to help you manage, the cabling from your lights or lasers. And then we have the DC mount. The DC mount was our go-between until we released this. The DC mount, it mounts on the Picatinny mount bracket or the M-LOK mount, and it gives you a piece of Picatinny rail that goes in between the rail and the grip, so you can fill up that dead space, and you can put your pressure pad or your light, your device up there. Yeah, and that's it. And then our sling, I'm actually using the DC mount in that picture. And then the sling is a retention system. Pop this off the skill, this shotgun. So that's version 1 of the sling right there. It used to be made with a paracord. Just to the left of that is the DC mount. Right. That is the only thing that we sell that is not ambidextrous. That also took us, we went through nine versions of that to come up with that one. And the biggest issue we had was we couldn't make it where it wasn't overly complicated for the end user, and we couldn't make it strong enough. So we just decided to make it one piece and make it sides shooter specific. And there's a great picture of it right there.
Right.
And we call it the DC mount because there's one of our good friends, Doug Curtis, out in St. Louis. He's been with us from the beginning, and he sent me a prototype that he made, and that's what we designed it off of. And we told him, we're like, hey man, when we make this reel, we're going to name it after you. So that's why it's called the DC mount.
Nice. Very cool. All right, man, you blasted through a lot of product information and updates there pretty quickly. So, so let's go back to that first discussion. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just realized that I have to update our product shots, because on the DC mount, we've added the cable clip, the cable management, like that's on the Ryker control. And I just realized that is also a prototype up there. That one doesn't have the texture on it, but easy fix.
Right.
I don't really look at my website for
you're
some reason.
Innovating and changing things. Yeah. So that first discussion we had, it was 3 minutes into using it. I was just getting the feel for holding the grip. And I was like, man, you need buttons up here. And I remember the look on your face was it was that mix of, dude, we just started.
Yeah.
Just appreciate what's in front of us. But also kind of like the little glint in your eye of, but yes, it's coming.
Yeah. When we launched, dude,
I thought that was an interesting way to put it. And really happy when you grabbed me at SHOT Show and said, dude, you got to see this.
Yeah, we talked about it too before we launched. Like, well, do we wait? Do we continue to do R&D until we release
back again? So if I start roboting or anything, you'll just take over.
All right.
Sure. Let me go over here. Is he roboting now?
I think he's roboting.
Watch
He's
this. The
roboting now.
internet cooperate with me now. Yeah.
What I was working on. I was trying to clean up some of my stuff too. We're storming down here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I shut
we get
down
a lot
a
of
couple
water, it
pages. I was
has
trying to
issues.
load in the background, so I think maybe.
Oh, imagine that,
Yeah.
Jeff. I only had 70 tabs open. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Where we're at.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a cute way of telling me I was roboting, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's see. You got a light and a laser. Anything else that you're able to control at this point through the buttons on the grip?
Well, we are we're working a project right now, which is going to keep the option for the light or laser control here, but we have two prototypes, so we're working it to have buttons right up here in the finger pads for certain couple of different devices.
Sure.
Can't show you. I can't show you, but I can tell you that we've been working on this project since September, and it's going pretty well so far. So we're hoping that we get that probably 6 months. It'd be great by SHOT Show where we can be have it in the right people's hands at that time. So that's what one of the things we're working on right now. But I will tell you is having the option of other buttons in here. It's pretty neat. We actually at the NRA show, I was talking with the HoloSun guys, and they gave me a little laser that they're going to be coming out with. That's also an IR laser, but it's a tiny one that just clips on. And I'm going to rig one up so we can put it right on top of the grip too, and see if there's like something there to play with. But yeah, and I've got designs and stuff. Like I wanted to always put like a thumb operated like camera on the top, just a small little,
Interesting.
this recording thing up there, and so you could pop it off, pop it on, charge it, and everything like that. And I thought about that, and it was originally like in the capacity of law enforcement, so many of the, for them to help them, in their defense and stuff, when they're presenting out, I mean, all you see is the back of their hands, now if you're able to have this when they're up on the rifle, now that you're going to get that first person point of view much better. And then you look at it from the competition side of things too, just as just another added value.
Sure. Yeah, neat. So how modular is that grip in terms of the different things that you add to it? Is that part of the kind of development plan to make it like user swappable, or and I could be like years out in where you're going with this. I don't know. That's just what I think about. That's what I thought about from the beginning was it being kind of like a housing that people could kind of customize for whatever they wanted to run.
We're talking about offering like almost like when you go to Safari Land. All right, what holster do you want? I want this. What hand do you, left or right? What color do you want? Drop downs, boom, boom, boom. We're talking about doing that, and to including in like, okay, here, do you want to add this laser? Do you want to add this? Do you want to? So essentially, you'd be doing a package deal, buying more, saving more concept on that, and then giving the ability to customize. We do want to do a dual lead option for those that run light and laser, and the only reason we didn't release it right now was all the research we did, all the guys we talked to in the special operations arena, they most of them are not running pressure pad on their lights. They found that once they removed the pressure pad for the light, they eliminated the white light ND. And the only thing that they really have a pressure pad on the gun for is the laser. All the lights are an actual manual turn on. And then I know there's some units that there's no lights The only weapons that have lights are pistols. So there's that. Now I know a lot of law enforcement, a lot of the ERT guys. My guys here, they run light and laser. So there's options there, but the issue we ran into with the dual lead right now in the current state of it is it's a dumb switch. Whereas unless you have the Surefire Scout that you can turn off or to IR, anytime you press that button to activate your laser, you're going to get a white flash of light. The laser is the master in the switch. So that's an option. That's something that we're working on. The switch manufacturer is actually working on condensing, making 2 actually separate switches in that small compartment there. So we're working that. And then the other stuff we're working to put in there is for a multitude of other electrical, like Bluetooth, wireless devices to include communication stuff.
You put an MP3 player in there for me?
That would be great. Yeah. Put a little Bluetooth speaker, and
little projector. You have a little entertainment center. So
you saw the one where that dude made that 3D printed thing where he put his Chick-fil-A sauce on the side of the rifle.
Right.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you can think of it, I'll make it.
I said before, someone breaks into my house, before I shoot them, I'm going to ask, hey, dude, are you here to do bad stuff or to party? If they're here to party, then, we don't have to have violence, If they want violence, hey, let's do it. But otherwise, let's solve this peacefully.
Yeah.
So
Honey mustard or
sour. That'd be good. Yeah. No, but it's really neat to me to see what was initially a concept that was a little hard to wrap my head around. And I've said for years that the big challenge you have is you need to put guns in people's hands, not just to hold, but to fire, to go through. Even better if they can do like that course of fire you ran TJ through a couple years ago at the sawmill. Yeah, that was amazing. That we got some really cool video out of that, and it was amazing to me to watch. Now, given we're talking about a gifted athlete here, but so I knew the potential was there. But TJ, like me, neither one of us are operators, right? So So what you're able to do with him in like 30 minutes or 40 minutes was really remarkable. And I think, that's a testament to the training that you do and the skill that you have there as a trainer, but also in the adaptability of the grip and how it lends itself to, helping people do more than maybe they could comfortably do with a, we call it a normal AR without the grip on it. So that was neat. But I've said for years that the thing that I think will have you explode on the market is to have some of those control options built in there. So I'm really eager to see, when you get too busy to come on the show and talk to us because you're, cranking out so many products. And I everything I'm seeing, you're definitely moving that direction. So that's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying. We say one of the things, that we did different in the beginning, and you guys have heard me say this, but we brought in, once we decided we're going forward and we're making this real, and we found out that, we're free and clear for the patent on this. We have a doctor of biomechanics and ergonomics that helped us develop the product. We have 2 MDs, statisticians, and the engineers that helped us develop the product and the concept. So the pitch, the size of it, and everything is from data collected from orthopedic offices on hand shape and wrist mobility, from 80% of the United States and all this stuff. So we actually brought a lot of science into it. I didn't just make something and be like, hey, here, use this. I'm a Marine. This is cool. No, we wanted to do something different. And we say speed, accuracy, and stability are all improved with it. Heavier the gun, higher the caliber, full auto or suppress, you recognize the benefit instantly. It eliminates recoil, it eliminates the fatigue, and it removes you from the heat. We've also found guys like me, pre-existing injuries, it doesn't aggravate them. And then we've had we've had so many people reach out to us with like, hey man, this one guy, I'm retired law enforcement. I'm a double lung transplant replacement. He's like, I've never been able to shoulder a rifle since my surgery. He goes, your grip gave me that back. We've got a guy with cerebral palsy who reached out to us. He can now competitively shoot because of his condition. You know, we've got veterans that have reached out to us with just incredible stories. And you know, when we started this, you know, again, like I said, I always say I was thinking one-dimensionally. I had a me problem. I just wanted to shoot my AR pain-free. I wasn't even thinking about putting on a shotgun. And now, honestly, I only like shooting my bow and a shotgun. I don't even care. Magazine-fed shotgun has changed my life. Oh my gosh, it is the best thing. But I love the grip on the shotgun, you know. But then thinking about all these other things like the speed, the accuracy, and that stuff that came later on. But then you're getting these things where we're having people like thanking us for giving them something back, and you know, we share that with our team. And our one partner was just like, you know, he's like, we went out of business today. We never sold another grip again. We are a success because we've changed someone's life. We've given them something back they thought they had lost. You know, the other flip side of that is what we have found is, and this was found in our first 2 sponsored shooters, Alpha Addy in San Antonio, Texas, and Pineapple Shooter Reagan down in Florida. Both came to us when they were preteens, and they're now driving and paid to shoot. And I think they both have their own signature rifles, and they run the grip. And the grip, there was the one thing that helped them get over that hump at 10 and 12 years old, because they didn't have a lot of the upper body strength to go through the courses of fire. And the grip gave them that ability to, now I'm not holding the gun up, I'm pulling it back. So they're using larger muscle groups, which allowed them to compete at a higher level. We've also found that with a lot of like smaller frame men and women in law enforcement. I know here, if you don't qualify with the AR, you can't, or the shotgun, you can't have them in your cruiser. You have to qualify with it to have it in the vehicle. And the problem is when they qualify, they have all their stuff on. A lot of them, the small frame people, they can't ever get in there where they're comfortable. And they also, you know, they're I don't want to say they're set up to fail, but they're not set up to succeed. I think that's a better way to say it. When it comes to the training, they're all the training, basic training they receive is teaches them how to pass a test.
It's scary, really. I mean, and not to throw any of them under the bus, but I know a lot of people in law enforcement. And when we talk about the training that they do, the recurring training, the initial training, I'm like, wow, you know, I think most people in the civilian world think that they get probably 100 times the diversity of training for different situations and scenarios. And some departments do more. I mean, I know I had warehouse space not too far from me in my little town that I live in. And every now and then we'd find simunitions brass all over the place where they'd come through and, you know, use the warehouse after hours for training. So some departments are really working their people and putting them in different scenarios. And some of them are, you know, you made it through BLET, have fun.
Yeah.
That's a little scary.
On the job training. There you go.
Yeah.
But, you know, the thing too is one of the things I say, like in my training, I tell people all the time, whether it's like my situation awareness seminar, the North Carolina Concealed Carry Permit class, or any of the advanced stuff that we do, I tell them, I was like, look, you've received a lot of information today. You've made an investment in yourself. Make this investment grow. Go home and share this with your family. Talk about your plans, talk about your escape plans, talk about your evacuation plans, talk about your home defense plans. If you're the only one who has that, you keep it in your head, you've made a bad investment and you failed. You have to bring them in. And that's not saying that just like getting everybody in the family out shooting, because not everybody in certain households, like, you know, want to do that stuff, but they still have to have a concept of operations for something happens, you know? So I always say, be good at your craft. When it comes to law enforcement, I really try to help and work with them as much as I can and as much as they're willing to. But you'll get a lot of guys out there be like, yeah, I'm a cop. I went to BLET. Like when did you go to BLET? Like, oh, 12 years ago. Have you done anything? Well, I qualify every year. And I'm just like, do you shoot competitions? Like, no. Like, what are you doing for medical? Like, I see cops and I'll challenge them politely, but I don't love seeing that. It actually hurts to see it. You see a police officer with their pistol belt on and a tourniquet holder, which I applaud, but the tourniquet's still in plastic. It's still in the plastic it came from North American Rescue. And I asked him, like, why do you have it in there? It's like, oh, well, it's for emergency use only. I was like, if you're going to use that tourniquet and your hands are covered in blood, you're not going to be able to open that plastic.
Right.
And they sit there and they look at you like, and I'm like, have you ever practiced with a tourniquet? Like, no, they just issued us these. And I'm like, okay, so the scales aren't balanced yet between equipment and training, but also throwing in mindset and critical thinking, especially for the junior guys. And especially now with the landscape of the country now, like there's got to be some type of like social, just, I don't know, like social, not want to say programming, but social, just like information, teaching them, teaching these guys how to like cyber stalk, like reverse cyber stalk, use the same things that they're using to communicate. At the lower end stuff. So I'm sorry, I'm going on on a rant, Jeff.
It's going to happen eventually somewhere, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, those are pretty safe rant. We get rolling. Who knows where we're going to go?
Yeah, better early than late.
Yeah, Jeff starts looking up stuff on the internet, and then it goes to hell.
We're not doing that this week. We are not doing that this week.
But like you were saying, Ron, everybody lives this myth that they're going to rise to the occasion, right? I've got the tools, so when my moment strikes, I'll just know what to do. And they don't understand that the reality is you fall back to your training. You don't rise to the occasion. So nope. The thing that you practice the most is the thing that you will do when half your brain shuts down. You get the tunnel vision. Whatever you practiced, whatever you rehearsed is what you will do. And if you never practiced, that's what you'll do.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna fumble with that plastic wrap, just like you said. And cool.
No, I agree with you completely on that. I say that all the time. I was like, look, I said, this is the part in the training where I tell you that your moms, they lied to us. They lied to us. Like, you don't rise to the occasion. You will rise to a heightened state of your pre-existing abilities. That's it. And if your abilities are playing Call of Duty, well, hey, what in a jump brief, there's a line in the jump brief the jump master has to say, if your main parachute fails to open, activate your reserve parachute. If your reserve parachute fails to open, you have the rest of your life to figure it out. So,
both seconds.
All right.
Well, okay, where shall we go now? I want to talk about the sling because I like the sling you had before. You said you made some updates to it, and we can see here. Oh, you got one too. So let's do that. Let's bring you up, and you can show us and talk us through what's changed. I mean, you got the cover over it instead of being paracord now, but
So this one, I actually just pulled this off my shotgun. The new sling, the original sling came with the HK clips, and that was a manufacturing thing because we launched that, and then COVID happened, and all the U.S. manufacturers for the QD mounts weren't taking on new customers. So now our new manufacturer of our sling has that account. So we're using the mil-spec, American-made QD mounts. It comes with a pair of those. You got the steel tri-glides and then the steel connectors up here at the top. You got your little loop right here so you can make your adjustments. And then in the sleeve, instead of using the bungee, we've used a flat elastic that allows you to get that resistance. And the concept of the resistance built into the sling is to allow you to keep tight retention of the weapon. So if I had to transition to a secondary weapon, my rifle is going to sit tight on my chest. It's not going to be, you know, banging down, getting caught on my pistol belt, hitting me in the legs or dragging. Or if I had to bend down and move somebody, I'm not going to muzzle thump them in the face or the back of the head. So I'd like to keep this nice and tight. We say set it in a t-shirt. We also say from at the beginning part where you have your standing end right here, right where it meets the elastic part, you set that on your collarbone. This is how you set this part. And then you just work your way, back down. So the concept is that and there's plenty of videos on my YouTube channel, if anybody wants to check that out, but you keep it tight and you can punch right on up with that retention, and then it just comes back. And the unique thing that we have found with the sling, when you have that tight retention on and you push up, the elastic in the bungee pulls the rifle back into your shoulder, and it takes even more stress off of the support arm. And it really just locks the rifle back into your shoulder, which we have found has greatly improved accuracy, shooting and moving, but standing 100, 125, 150 meter unsupported. Typically now with the sling, it's just pulling it right back. And then shooting under physical stress. Elevated heart rate, the sling really does a lot of work. We have half a dozen guys that run our stuff that do the fitness shooting events like tactical games, the proving grounds, run and gun, all those. And the one thing that they all say that they love our sling for is they put it on, they keep it tight, they throw it on their back, they go to their, they do their event, they come on up, they're out of breath, they spin the rifle around, load the gun, come on up, shoot, throw the rifle right back on their back and go. They never touch the sling. The rifle's always in the same spot. And they're like, you see guys, they're sitting there, they're fumbling, trying to get their sling tight. I was a vendor at one of the tactical games at the range complex a couple years ago. I saw a dude carrying it was like a 120-pound sandbag, had his kid on, his sling broke. It was a really nice, Daniel Defense. It was an easy $5,000 rifle. The sling broke, and he was just holding the part of the sling and dragging the rifle. He was so mentally done. He's like, if I stop, I'm not picking this thing back up. He's like, I'm just going to drag this gun and deal with it when I get to, the finish line. But that's one of the things the guy said a lot about our sling is just that for that's active, and the obstacle type of stuff. It's really helped them a lot.
Nice. Okay, I've dropped links to the RykerUSA.com website and to the YouTube channel, so you go check out some of those videos. I would attempt to play them, but my internet would completely shit the bed at that point, and it's not going to happen. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, what do you have in the pipeline? Anything you want to talk about? I know you talked about some things. Anything else that we're always looking for new, innovative, or the next version or the next color?
We're
my job, man.
Hey, what are you guys? What are you doing on 9, 10, 11 June? Did he freeze?
You tell me.
We're running a 3-day train-to-trainer event out at Osprey Global Solutions in Council, North Carolina. It's about an hour west-northwest out of Wilmington. And what we're doing is I've got some guys from Pylum Defense out of Colorado. It's a executive protection cybersecurity company, and they have gotten many requests from locally. They've been doing a lot of firearms instruction, and my buddy Mike, who owns the company, was like, I want to come out and get my guys out and train with you. So we put together this training package, and we were going to cover it, get content, have my media guy come out and cover it, and then he had the idea let's make it a production. So now we've kind of got it sponsored.
There you go.
So Mitchell Defense is coming down. It's a veteran-owned rifle company out of Pennsylvania. He's actually a SARC, which is a Special Amphibious Reconnaissance Corpsman. It's the Marine Recon Navy version of an 18 Delta. He got out. and now he makes rifles, and they're clean, they're nice. So he's coming down.
Really?
Wilder Tactical, Mantis X is coming. We're gonna spend we're gonna do like a whole 3-day thing with the Mantis X Blackbeard. I don't know if you guys have played with that yet.
Yep.
That so awesome.
Yeah, that thing's great.
And I don't care if I get in trouble for this. They're coming out with one for the pistol this year. So
I figured they would. I mean, once they get the AR one, it was like, you know, Glock Mag one's coming next. I can see it.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah. So and then Guns America is coming. They're sponsoring, and they're gonna their CEO's coming to go through the training. And then we got a couple other people that are coming, and we're waiting on a couple other equipment sponsors to see who's going to be able to kick in. I believe Tracer Tactical is going to be providing chest rigs for everybody to use. So so it's going to be fun. It's going to be shotgun.
That's a good time.
Yeah, and it's going to be so I run a dynamic shotgun course, and my shotgun course I developed for the person who says that they use a shotgun for home defense, and I don't have a problem with that. And again, a lot of it just depends on your abilities, what you're using, you know. So I always ask people, like, well, what kind of shotgun do you have? I was like, I have 870, solid gun. I used it for probably about 6 years of my life, of my career. Like, it's amazing. It was my breacher shotgun. It will not fail you. I was like, but so you got what? 5 in a tube, 1 in a chamber. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. I'm like, you're going to burn through 6 shells pretty quick. I'm like, where's your rest of your ammo? It was like, in my range bag. Where's your range bag? In the garage. Where's your bedroom? Upstairs. Are you feeling exposed? Because you're exposed.
Let me see.
Yeah. So we run this shotgun course, and we do it with pump, semi, and then the magazine fed shotguns. So the bullpups or the AR style. And what we're doing is we're helping you understand the capabilities and your abilities. And again, trying to balance that scale. So each course of fire is 25 targets. So you have 20 clays, and then you have 5 pieces of steel that you have to finish off on. And we set obstacles up. We have a facade door at my range. We have spindles. You jump over, you crawl under. We set barrels up. We have a whole serpentine course you have to go through. And, you know, just getting you like lots of physical stress, but now starting to try to teach you how to use proper cover and concealment to reload and stay on top. And then you start seeing the benefit of like, holy crap, loading a pump, loading it. You're not like a 3-gun shooter, loading a pump and loading that and everything. And I'm telling you this, I was like, guys, it's sunny out. It's a beautiful day. I was like, you're going to be doing this at night in your drawers, you know, with slippers on, maybe, and no ear pro and no hearing protection. And then so the light is coming on. And then we run through the same course of fire with a magazine fed. And it's so amazing because the commonality of movement between an AR and now a magazine fed shotgun. So then what I did is I call it my John Wick belt. I took a Wilder minimalist tactical minimalist Molly belt, and I have 7 of their multi-fit soft rifle pouches on there. And I have a drop pouch, so we can use the same thing for guys to throw shells in. So I have a med kit, drop pouch, and 7 mags. So I'll start with a 10-round mag, and I've got 35 on my belt. Nice. I like that. I'm very comfortable with 45 shotgun shells, right? But that's how we run them through the course, you know, and we just start teaching them like now you're understanding. Now you have a gauge of, all right, I like, yes, you have to have a specific shotgun for hunting. You know, you have to have that long barrel for turkey hunting, for duck hunting. What turkey is it can only be 3 shots, you know, so that's fine. That's a different type of thing. You know, now if you're looking at it for home defense, now I love the bullpup because of the, you know, I don't have to get a tax stamp, and I got this nice little Central SBR.
You got Jeff at bullpup right there.
I love a bullpup, and you know, so it's just the shotgun stuff is I have probably shot more shotgun this last year than I have like the AR, guaranteed. But so this 3-day course, we're going to do shotgun, a lot of shotgun, saturate them, and then we're going to go into advanced concealed carry and start doing shooting while wounded, self care, just tourniquet applications, multiple tourniquet applications. Then we'll have a head-to-head competition. Second day, we're going to get into transitions, rifle, pistol. We're going to wait and see if Unit Solutions is going to be there. The facility at Osprey, we have a subterranean feature there, so it's all like, it's kind of like themed underground. It's all concrete, dimly lit, not lit at all, whatever. We're going to do if Unit Solution jumps on board with this, we're actually going to do some force on force in there. So we're going to teach you guys how to attack, or defend. And then we're going to do some transition, start teaching shotgun pistol transition, and again, have a competition. And then the last day is going to be working up to what we call our shoot, move, communicate drill. And you're going to have 2 and 3 man teams. And we have 120 pound. It's actually on top of my room up behind me. I have a 120 pound fight dummy in a flight suit. And he's down at the 3-yard line. And you have to move, bound down together. We start teaching you how to shoot, move, and communicate in a small unit, right? Get to this guy. There's a medical scenario we give you when you get there, so you can't game plan it. And now you have to bound back with him. The key, this is where I get everybody. In all of my classes, pistol mags are only loaded to 6, rifle mags are only loaded to 8. I'm going to force you to touch your equipment. I'm going to force you to change mags.
Yep.
And if you cannot shoot, move, and communicate, you will run out of ammo. Happens every single time. And it is the best. We give you guidance, and we tell you this is course fire. Here's what you got to do. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. And this is the part. The way we've designed this drill is that it allows you to implement what you think works and what you've been, going back to what you said, Comer, about it's what you're training. This is what you're rising to, and then you'll see what doesn't work, and then you can make your immediate feedback from the physical stressors, and then we go through again, and everybody's smoother. And then the other thing we notice too is typically the times are cut 50%. They're 50% faster the next time. And then one thing that's happened I've run that class for 7 years. One thing that's happened in every single class, a minimum one, I always have someone leave a pistol. They get down there, they run out of ammo, and they're sitting there and they're like, I'm out. And they know they're out of ammo. They know they don't have any more. So they drop their gun. It's the same every single time. They drop their pistol and they go and they grab the dummy and they start moving the dummy. So we go back deeper. Like, all right, cool. Check your gear. Everybody's going over the gear and everything like this. And then the guy's like, oh man, my pistol must have fallen out. We're like, no, it didn't fall out. You dropped it. Here it is. And they're like, what? And there's just like, holy crap, I didn't even know I did that. And so, but that's that part. And the guy's like, I guarantee you that dude will never do that again in his life.
Right.
But that's why I set that course up that way. So,
they dropped the pistol. They're like, you were using a dummy as cover.
Yeah.
You were just holding the dummy up, walking back. Like, I got this.
But so that's how we're gonna finish out. So it's gonna be a fun 3 days. If you guys want to come on out, I can give you the round count and just show up. Osprey Global. I'm doing a lot with them. They run an event called DAX, and I can get you guys more information about that. I think it's going in October this year. It's Defense Application Exercise, and they bring in a lot of high-end things, and they put on a really good. It's almost like a small scale, like what they do at Suffolk with the Tier 1 demonstration they do down there down in Tampa. But then we're working with them to help them turn it into more like of a gathering. So you're going to have vendor village, and you're going to be able to go and demo product on the ranges. The facility is really nice. It's big. I think it's got a known distance of 1,200. It's got a Titan room. I can't remember there's a mirror right here, and you're live firing into the wall, but you're looking at the mirror. So you're actually shooting at moving targets, but you're not shooting them. They're actually parallel with you, and you guys are looking, at the same. It's pretty fascinating. So they have that. They use that a lot with law enforcement. There's a couple shoot houses there and obstacle course and stuff like that. But it's that's coming up in October. But yeah,
that sounds awesome. Did you say June 9 to 11?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, that we should definitely talk offline and see if we can work something out that works for everyone, because that sounds really neat. And
it does.
I think, the thing, I'll be honest with you. I was in the Air Force, man. I don't know how to do all this stuff. So I find myself over my head in the firearms industry all the time, because I'm like a general review guy. Gear Report was up and running for 5 years before we did guns at all. I did other outdoor gear. And, I have to remind myself and other people sometimes, hey, y'all grew up doing special forces stuff. I didn't. I don't know this stuff. And it can be intimidating to go to something like that. But I've seen how you do your training. I'm not saying anything about you specific. I'd feel more comfortable doing it with you than most people. But I got a fragile ego, so I got to be careful what I do. How bad am I willing to look?
I teach, when I teach the North Carolina concealed carry permit, I don't really advertise any classes. I'm actually teaching one this weekend, and all of my classes locally are all word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly getting referrals and people just, setting it up. When I show up, I go out there, I set up at my other range down near Southport, and I set up my bay. I have no idea who's walking through that gate, but I look at it as, they were referred to me, so I'm putting faith in that. And but I also know how I teach, and I want you to feel welcome. And I tell everybody, you're going to leave at the end of today, you're going to be more confident in your abilities to own, operate, and carry and purchase and hold a firearm than you were when you walked through that gate this morning. And one of the things I tell a lot of the guys from my background that come and assist and instruct with me, I tell them, I was like, teaching civilians is not like teaching Marines. I said, the biggest thing you guys have to get in your head is that they are not coming here for a qualification. All of our stuff we've ever done in all of our shooting schools is for a qualification. And if you make one mistake, you're gone. You're gone. See you next year. They're not coming to you for qualification. They're coming to you for education. And I said, you don't have to coddle them. I said, but you've got to give them respect. But because the other thing too is a lot of them are fragile. I've had some clients show up at the range and actually physically been so hit with so much anxiety, start crying, and then we'll just take them, here, grab some water. Let's go for a walk. Let's talk this out. Right. Come back. And at the end of the day, they're all like, oh my God, this was the best thing I've ever done in my life. So it's just I take a different approach to the training, all the training. Everything's fundamentally based. There is no superpower. There is no super moves. It's just repetition of fundamental movements. And then how do you get better at those? Add in heart rate. Add in some other things. Add in some other movements. Taking a knee, moving this. Put a tourniquet on yourself. Now come up and figure out how to shoot supported. But you're still doing everything fundamentally the same. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see if we can make that work. That sounds like an amazing course. Oh, yeah. And when I kept looking down, showing the shiny part of my head, I was taking notes on everything. Yep. So we're definitely going to have to explore that, see if we can make that work. That sounds really awesome. Cool. So let's see. We talked about the scope of the products. What we didn't talk about is where people get the products. I've already posted the link to the website. So I think that's one of those, it goes without saying. Is there any place else? Are you selling through dealers? Like if someone wants something, would you rather they come to the website or go to their dealer and say, hey, can you get this for me? Or what
so we're right now we're primarily e-commerce. We're in a couple of like small gun stores, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. which all pretty much all Virginia South. We're in a couple gun stores across all the way up and down East Coast, but primarily just go to the website RykerUSA.com and get on our mailing list, because we're always throwing stuff in there, and announcements. Like the only thing that we honestly we were hoping that we were going to have the M81 slings out, but the materials just haven't, the webbing hasn't shown up yet. So but we're going to do some signature slings. We're doing some other stuff, some pretty cool stuff. We're doing a collaboration with another veteran-owned company with the control and a sling. That's coming out that'll be coming out in about 4 months. So that'll be neat when that comes out. But that's cool, is because that's it's in our, it's hard to do stuff in our industry, and to do the we can't do paid marketing. I can't do Google ads. We can't do any of that stuff. And so doing the podcast, I'm like, I always say yes. This is like important for us, and we appreciate you guys having us on because of the struggles, and everything like that. Sure. So when you get other companies that are bigger and they and they want to do a collaboration with you, it's awesome. It's they believe in our product, and and that's it. And so it's just, that's one of the reasons too I do so many vendor shows, is because I have to grassroots it right now.
You got such a tactile, hands-on product that can be really hard to wrap your head around unless you're firing with it, or at least holding it.
Once you get to use it, you're like, wow, this thing's fantastic.
All right, let's do a time check. Well, we're pushing up on an hour, so why don't we? I don't think anything was published since last week, because frankly, I've been head down cranking out videos for another project.
I actually checked ahead of time too. I was being proactive.
Yeah, I wrapped up that project this morning. It was a marathon of cranking out videos. So we'll likely have some stuff published. We won't talk about recently published reviews.
I don't need to drag on that. I don't need to drag on the happy hour too long, because I got to get up at like 3 a.m. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So we'll have a couple more beers, man. That'll make it easier to get up in the morning.
Do it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Always. Right. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Upcoming reviews. Well, I'll tell you what I have not done a good job of the past couple months is I've been putting a lot more video reviews up on YouTube. And then I used to always create like a container article on the main Gear-Report.com website. And I've just had so much going on that I haven't been doing that lately. And it's a shame, because if you're not following the myriad of Gear Report channels, then you're missing stuff. This week I've been doing a new video drop each day on the Guitars Gear Report and Camping Gear Report channel. I've got probably next week I'm going to switch and do the Humvee Gear Report and Gear Report Firearms, and we'll just keep sprinkling other things in. I've got so many different videos for the different channels that are popping up that I can't keep up with them. So, and I haven't been posting the articles to go with them. So if you want to follow any of that stuff, then be sure you're checking out the various different Gear Report channels online.
Jeff likes to keep everybody guessing. Who knows what's coming out.
I keep me guessing. I got no idea. So, hey, I
get
up
camping,
in the morning.
Could be like, swimming. Could be
anything.
Working on today.
Yep.
It could be anything.
He stretches, hurts his back. Like, I guess it's going to be Gear Report Humvee today. We're just going to sit here.
And I have not. I've still resisted what people keep telling me, and it was Hank Strange won't leave me alone about when are we going to have like Gear Report sex toys or something. I'm like, dude, I just don't think we're going to do it. And it came real close yesterday.
It's a really big business. I'm just throwing it out there.
So the Amazon program that I'm in, where they send review products like every day, I was scrolling through there yesterday and I was like, oh my goodness, there's a big black dildo in here. And I came real close to queuing that up and sending it to TJ's house.
When's it showing up at the house? I was going to say, when's it showing up?
With a note that said, get this review done. And I said, you know what, that's it. That's further than I'm willing to go.
You need to do it. That is funny as hell. That
should
would
have
be
sent it to
so
Ghost
funny.
House. That's what I should have done.
I would die laughing. Like, hey, Mama-san, like shake the box, like here you go, something for you.
Yeah. I don't think I'm quite ready to go that direction.
She's far enough away. She can't hurt you. She can only hurt me.
Yeah, well, it's more of a what lines am I willing to cross at this point in my life?
There's no lines.
Let the kids get out of the house. They're almost out. Then, who knows? But
mine are out.
But after realizing we had pineapples and gnomes in the front yard, and that was sending a bad message, I'm like, what? And then we have that stuff showing up. Like, I'm just not ready to go that direction quite yet.
Yeah. Should have said it's Snob's house.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Anyhow, I apologize, man. You never know where this show's going to go. We got no idea.
At least we're not talking about guitars.
Dude.
Not yet, are we?
Okay, real quick.
Oh, geez. I knew it.
He's
going to do it anyway, so I just
need
got to get it out.
Hold
get
on.
it over with.
I had completely forgotten about our weekly segment that we call Guitarmageddon. All right, so this week we've got
one of my favorite segments
from Fender's sub-brand Squire, which you may liken to Beretta and Taurus. I don't know, kind of similar. We've got an Affinity Stratocaster that I did a whole bunch of work to, and now it plays awesome, and it's super light. So anyhow, that's it. It's an abbreviated Guitarmageddon this week.
Awesome.
Because
love it.
We had so much momentum on other stuff. And I feel like there's more that I'm forgetting, but I'm going to spare you guys at this point.
There's not. You're fine. There's not anything else. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Upcoming reviews. I am going to be completely non-committal because I have a project for the Swimming Gear Report channel. I have a set of goggles that have a heads-up display built into the right eye.
Oh, geez. That is awesome. I knew I was waiting for something to come out. Something like
Swimming
that.
along. And here's the thing. So I wear my contacts when I swim so I can see because I'm blind as a bat. And I thought I can't see up close. Like I have to take my glasses off to read stuff. I thought there's no way with those contacts I'm going to be able to read the heads up display, and I can read it. It's amazing. I don't know how this stuff works, but
you're in water.
It gets me thinking about so many other technical potential applications for this little technology. And it's very affordable. I think these goggles are like a couple $100 at the most. So
they've had that they've had that in the snowboard goggles for a few years.
Wow.
The Zeiss, I think they were one of the first ones, and I know Oakley has a pair that they put out, and I believe Smith too. But it's almost the same concept. You can pick the side you put it on, and it throws it right up there. It gives you like a little HUD. It tells you your altitude, how fast you're going, the temperature outside. Yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty neat. I haven't gone down that road yet.
Yeah.
I have an app on my phone. I just turn it on, keep it in my pocket, gives me all the info I need.
I don't know what I would use them for. I mean, I'm down here in Florida. What's your altitude? 6. What's the temperature? 100. Okay. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat stuff. So I know that I have a deadline on that project, but by the end of the month, I want to wrap it up next week. Yeah. Who knows what else I'm going to work on in the meantime?
Nobody knows. You don't even
be
know.
Anything.
You don't even know.
Did you didn't happen, TJ, to bring any of the parts that you painted so we can see how the duty coat?
No, I got the new. The handguard from Live Free Armory didn't work with the suppressor, so I ordered one from Aaron at Phoenix Weaponry. So that showed up the other day, so I just coated it.
Oh wow,
it's sexy looking too.
I
get the 338 suppressor with the 12-inch handguard. That's awesome. So it's all drying right now. I recoated the handrail, and so it's next week, Jeff, with the duty coat. But
good enough.
It still sprays on awesome. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I saw an email from Marcus today, so I know he's looking for a report on how things are going. Komar, you got anything cool you're working on?
Everything.
No, I'm working on a couple things actually, but I can't yet.
I can't tell you.
Yeah, and I'm still. I got to get a hold of the contact at Defense Distributed to get that Ghost Gunner 3 moving, because that discussion kind of fell to the wayside. We need to get that. We need to get the Ghost Gunner 2 sent in and get the 3 out to us. So we got some projects to work on. And Chris, who probably none of you guys have met because he stopped doing Gear Report stuff several years ago, he has come back and is doing some 3D printing stuff. So we may be featuring some 3D printing stuff here shortly.
There's a lot of guys doing that. Everybody's doing that stuff now. Flying Rich does a lot of it. He has a whole, like, I tried watching one of his live streams one time, and he was live streaming the 3D printing stuff, and they were talking about it. And I was like, I understand not a word they're talking about. I was like, all right, see you later. I said, hi, Rich. He goes, hey, TJ. And I clicked off. I'm like, I'm out of here.
So, yeah.
Ron, are you guys still doing prototyping and some manufacturing with 3D printed stuff?
Yeah, the new control is 3D printed.
Yeah.
So it's, that was one of the things is the hard tooling, that whole side of things, that is not cheap.
Crazy expensive.
But it's also permanent. It's like you can't make any tweaks, any modifications to it at all. With the 3D printing, when we started, the industry has exploded.
Oh yeah.
Where it is now, our manufacturer, our 3D printing, he's like, I will put our stuff head to head with injection molding. He goes, it's stronger. And the thing is they can tweak the mixture. So they can make it stronger if it needs to be stronger, or they have the base minimum so it meets the the mil spec requirement. So it's pretty fascinating. I went down to Nico down in College Station, Texas, and I didn't understand anything he was saying, but I could see how the stuff worked, and it was. I didn't realize, like, I thought I was just going to see like all these like these little printed things. No, it's not it at all. It's like these big machines, and it's just you pour powder in, and it's crazy. But no, it's awesome. I mean, they're 3D printing houses now.
Oh yeah.
So
there's one down the road for me. It took them forever. It took them a while, but they figured it out. I mean, it's crazy the stuff they can do now.
Well, it worked out that right as we were about to wrap up the show and log off, our favorite competitive crayon eater has joined the program. So
I was with him Tuesday night. You guys are killing me this week. I feel like I'm like this is like SHOT Show. I'm up at 9 o'clock.
We're trying to kill you, bro. Like your beard keeps getting grayer and grayer, homie.
Hey man, I'm still getting up at 4:30 to go to the gym. So
yeah,
no, you are.
Yeah. All right, Ghost. Welcome. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and suggesting that we get Ron on the program this evening. It's always good to chat. And
well, I think it's one of those things. You're actually, I don't know if you remember this. You're the one who actually introduced Ron and I years ago at SIG Range Day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was
19.
You were with what was it, Shane and Jade, right?
Yeah. Netherton, Shane Netherton, and Jade was those.
Oh yeah. We're not with Shane anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That was.
No, I didn't mean like business relationship, but like in the parking lot. With Jade, because it was funny that I stopped to say hi to you guys, and apparently everyone else knew who Jade was, and I don't pay attention. I didn't know who she was, so she got up and came and talked, and was like, who is this woman and why is she coming over to talk to me? But anyhow,
animal magnetism.
Well, she's an awesome person.
Yeah, she got a thing for out of shape bald guys apparently.
The dad bod.
Yep. That's my wheelhouse actually. Yeah. So that works out. No, but anyhow, thanks everyone. I think we had a pretty good program this evening. Lots of good information we'll have out there all over the interwebs. So when people search for information, they'll be able to get some good stuff there. We will be back next Thursday. We do this every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. That's what we call it this week at Gear Report, because we do it every week. And we'll have some cool things. I am going to predict that we may even have some stuff published to talk about by then, since that video project has wrapped up.
I'll put some stuff in for publishing. I don't know if it'll get published.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. You never know.
It is. I never know.
Yep. So with that, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for the folks out in the chat for the questions early on. Thanks, you're jumping the gun again, Ghost. Come on.
Barely see him back there.
The thing we do. All right, we pointed the camera. We'll say until next week. We'll see you at the range. And we just did it. Actually, we'll do it again. We'll see you at the range. Yeah, I know it's cheesy, but that's how we do it.
What are you doing?